What are you? Right now, as you read these words, you're actually performing an act of incredible complexity. Information flows from this screen through your eyes and into the intricate network of your brain. Your mind processes the shapes of these letters, converts them into sounds, and assembles them into concepts. This is intelligence. It is computation. A powerful enough computer, a sophisticated artificial intelligence, could perform this very same task. It could read, analyze, and even summarize this text with breathtaking speed and accuracy. But would it anything while doing so? Would there be an inner, private experience of understanding? This is the chasm that separates mere information processing from the subjective reality of consciousness, the internal movie that you are living right now. For decades, the prevailing assumption has been that consciousness is an emergent property of complex computation. The idea is that if you build a system with enough interconnected nodes and processing power, consciousness will simply switch on like a light bulb finally receiving enough current. In this view, the brain is a biological computer, a wetware machine running a sophisticated program. Your thoughts, your emotions, your sense of self, all are believed to be the output of this program. The material it runs on, whether silicon chips or carbon-based neurons, is considered irrelevant. It is the pattern, the algorithm, the software that matters. But a profound and challenging idea from one of the world's most brilliant minds suggests this view might be fundamentally incomplete. This alternative proposes that consciousness is not just about the complexity of the connections, but about the very fabric of reality in which those connections exist. It argues that a crucial piece of the puzzle lies not in computer science, but in fundamental physics, specifically in gravity. This isn't the familiar gravity that pins us to the Earth, but a subtle quantum-level effect that might govern the collapse of possibilities into a single, definite reality. The theory suggests that consciousness is tied to a physical process that today's computers cannot, and perhaps never can, simulate. It hints that the feeling of awareness is a feature of the universe itself, harnessed by the delicate, specific architecture within our neurons. This idea places a ghost back into the machine, but it's not a supernatural one. It is a ghost woven from the laws of physics, from the strange and counterintuitive rules of the quantum world. This perspective shifts the entire debate. It asks us to consider that the hardware isn't interchangeable after all. It suggests that the unique biological material of the brain is not just a convenient platform for computation, but is instead a finely tuned instrument designed to interact with the universe in a way that silicon chips cannot. The question then becomes monumental. Is your mind a product of pure code, or is it a conduit for a deeper gravitational reality? The answer could redefine not only ourselves, but the future of intelligence itself. To draw a clear line in this debate, we must first agree on our terms. When we talk about consciousness, we're not merely talking about intelligence or behavior. A self-driving car is intelligent. It perceives its environment, makes decisions, and acts upon them. Yet, we have no reason to believe it has an inner life. It doesn't the sunlight on its sensors or the rumble of the road through its tires. This internal, subjective experience, the redness of red, the sweetness of a strawberry, the sting of a memory, is what philosophers call qualia. It is the essence of what we are trying to explain. It's the difference between a machine that can write a perfect sonnet about love and a human who has actually felt it. The dominant scientific theories of consciousness, such as the global neuronal workspace, or GNW theory, focus on the computational architecture of the brain. GNW proposes that you become conscious of a piece of information when it is broadcast across a widespread network of neurons, making it available for various cognitive processes like memory, planning, and language. In this model, consciousness is a functional property of information access. If information is globally available, it is conscious. If it is confined to a local processing module, it remains unconscious. This is a powerful and elegant framework that aligns beautifully with our understanding of the brain as an information processing system. It suggests consciousness is a clever trick of data management. Another leading computational model, integrated information theory, or IIT, takes a slightly different but related approach. IIT posits that consciousness corresponds to a system's capacity to integrate information. It attempts to quantify this with a mathematical value called phi. A system with high phi, like the human brain, has a structure where the whole is vastly more than the sum of its parts. Its components are richly interconnected and interdependent. A system with low phi, like a digital camera's sensor array, has components that act largely independently. For IIT, consciousness integrated information. The higher the integration, the more conscious the system. Both GNW and IIT are hardware agnostic. They care about the pattern of connections, not the stuff being connected. These theories are compelling because they're testable and provide a clear path forward for building artificial intelligence. They imply that if we can replicate the brain's functional architecture, its global workspace, or its integrated information structure, in a silicon-based machine, we will have created genuine consciousness. The machine would not just be an inner life, it would actually have one. This is the orthodox view, the bedrock upon which most of modern neuroscience and AI research is built. It's a clean, elegant, and purely computational story. But what if a fundamental force of nature, one we've overlooked in this domain, refuses to be ignored? What if the stuff matters more than we ever imagined? The radical alternative, championed most famously by the mathematical physicist Sir Roger Penrose, argues that the computational story is missing the most important chapter. Penrose contends that human understanding, particularly our ability to grasp mathematical truths, possesses a quality that cannot be captured by any algorithm. He argues that consciousness must involve a non-computable process, something that lies outside the realm of classical and digital machines. This is not a philosophical preference, but a conclusion he draws from the deep logic of mathematics and computation, particularly Gödel's incompleteness theorems. If consciousness is indeed non-computable, then it cannot emerge from a brain that is merely a complex computer. It must be tapping into something else. This something else, Penrose proposes, is the physics of reality at its most fundamental level. Specifically, he points to the unresolved mystery of quantum mechanics, the measurement problem. In the quantum world, particles can exist in multiple states at once. A superposition. This blurry state of potential persists until a measurement is made, at which point the system collapses into one single definite reality. Mainstream interpretations have struggled to explain what constitutes a measurement. Penrose suggests that it is not an external observer, but gravity itself that resolves this ambiguity. He posits that every superposition has a tiny amount of mass energy associated with it, creating a minuscule warp in spacetime. When this warp reaches a certain threshold, it becomes unstable and collapses on its own. This process, called objective reduction, or OR, is a proposed physical law, not just an interpretation. It suggests that reality is constantly choosing its state based on a gravitational trigger. The theory, developed with anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff, is called orchestrated objective reduction, or ORCH-OR. It hypothesizes that this gravity-induced collapse is not random noise but is orchestrated within the brain, specifically inside tiny protein structures within our neurons called microtubules. These microtubules, the theory claims, can sustain quantum superpositions long enough for them to reach the gravitational collapse threshold. Each moment of orchestrated collapse, according to ORCH-OR, corresponds to a moment of conscious experience. Here, then, is the line in the sand. On one side, we have the computational theories, GNW and IIT, which state that consciousness is a pattern of information flow, independent of the physical substrate. On the other side, we have ORCH-OR, which claims consciousness is a specific, non-computable physical process intimately linked to quantum gravity, occurring within a unique biological structure. This is not just a philosophical disagreement. It is a clash of two fundamentally different views of the universe and our place within it. For the first time, this clash presents us with a possibility that was once unthinkable, a clean, falsifiable experiment. A test that could distinguish gravity from code and finally begin to answer the most profound question we can ask.